activities they've participated in, either the ESD Symposium or IMEX America Future Leaders. So today I would like each of them to introduce themselves. Tell us, tell us your name, your school, and which of ESD activities you participated on. So let's start with Calvin.
Hi everyone. So my name is Kaban Kisasami. I'm a senior attending Bethune-Cookman University. And the part that I participated in was the ESD Symposium research.
Delani.
Hi, everyone. My name is Delaney Bedore. I am a senior at Fort Hays State University in Kansas. I attended both the IMEX America Leaders and the ESD Research Symposium.
Wonderful. Cassandra.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I am Cassandra Vasica, a graduating senior at Bethune-Cookman University, and I took part in the research symposium 2 times now.
Great. Anna.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Tenbensel, and I attended the IMEX conference and the ESD Research Symposium.
Okay, thank you to our panelists for a wonderful introduction. As you can tell, they've all combined participated in the ESD Symposium and the IMS Future Leaders that took place at UNLV. So again, I would like to appreciate UNLV for hosting us last year, and we look forward to additional hosting from any university who is willing to host us. So today, I would like to ask the student, why did you conduct research with the ESD Undergraduate Research Symposium? Any of you can jump in. Why did you conduct the research?
I can start first. I conducted research for the ESD Undergrad Research Symposium to challenge myself academically and to gain a deeper understanding of the hospitality industry beyond the classroom.
Yeah, that's sir. Kavan, I know you have something in mind.
I can go next. So I did the research. This is my second year doing research, and the first year I really fell in love with the process. And I also think it's really cool to be surrounded by other hospitality students and getting to present your research at the undergraduate level. It's a lot less stressful than at higher up levels, and so it taught us a lot of really unique lessons.
Wonderful. That's great. Any other answer?
Yes, I want to piggyback off of Delaney and Cassandra. This is my second time doing the undergrad research symposium also, and I just wanted to like challenge myself and then surround myself with like-minded people.
Great. Those are all good answers. For your research, what resources did you find helpful for your research?
I can go first again. I could say some of the most helpful resources were academic journals, industry reports, and also guidance from my professor, Dr. Ruth Smith.
I guess I'll go second. I can say the same, and then I also use like our library databases, PubMed, Scoptus, Web of Science. We also got help from the librarian on how we can attain these academic papers more easily using those tools.
Great.
Um,
Thank you.
I would agree with Cassandra as well. Stacy helped a lot during this project, and also I did use the Fort Hays State Library as well when conducting research.
Great.
Yeah, I would
Now,
agree with Anna. The same, definitely the same.
good. So, most of you have included your advisors in this conversation. So my next question is, how did you find such wonderful advisors, faculty advisors, to support your research? How did you find them?
I can go first. So for us, me and Anna, it's Dr. Stacy Smith, and from the first day you walk into her classroom, she automatically wants to support you. And so when she starts telling you about research, you know already that she's going to be a helping hand. You don't really have to guess. And so from my freshman year until now, I've just always known that she's in your corner. And especially with research, you need those people in your corner. And so just coming to Fort Hays and getting placed in her class my freshman year really helped me find her.
Great.
For me, I technically didn't find her, she found me. I think it was one day we were just having a conversation and she mentioned the ESD symposium and asked me if I was interested in doing it. I did. I told her yes, and we quickly got on that. She was supportive through the entire process. Even before the process, the first day I attended Bethune-Cookman, it was just like I was at home. She made it feel like I was at home. So yeah.
That's good.
So my advisor and Kavan's advisor is Dr. Ruth Smith. And like he said from the beginning, Dr. Ruth Smith has always given us a home. She always made sure that we felt welcomed and loved. So I feel like Dr. Ruth Smith is a great mentor. She was a great mentor throughout this whole process because me and Kavan both did it for a second time this year. So I feel like from the first time to the second time, she has always made the process easier, and we built the foundation on trust and mentorship.
Right. Great. So you had eight advisors. We need more advisors like that. So let's talk about IMEX for a second. I know at least one or two of you were at IMEX America. What do you think about IMEX America?
Godwin, can I make a quick suggestion?
Yes.
Some people on the call may not know really what the Undergraduate Research Symposium is, where we went, how many schools participated, and the same thing with IMEX. Could you do a little backdrop of what that, especially you with IMEX and Stacy, if you could jump in, just to give people a little primer about the type of event that we offer opportunities to our ESD students to participate in.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Donna. Um, let's start with the undergraduate research. The undergraduate research is something we started 3 years ago. So we send call for papers to different schools, and different schools, whichever school is willing to host us, that's the school we go to. We've been at FIU Miami, we've been at USF, Tampa, and last year, this year we were at University of Boston University. So the students are giving some ideas about different type of research they can conduct, and they are supposed to work with a mentor, an advisor. And we've done this 3 times. Then they present their papers. We have best paper award, and then we have meritorious paper award that goes with this conference. We tend to get funding for this, and we've been very fortunate. Schools, many of you belong to some of the schools that have funded this venture. So we appreciate your funding, and we hope to continue to receive more funding. There's a call for paper right now for the next hosting institution, and many of you will hear about that very soon. Thank you. And IMEX, on the other hand, Stacy, are you there? Can you jump in to give us a little bit about what IMEX is?
Yeah, and I'm going to piggyback on Undergraduate Research Symposium really quick, and just for students that are listening, is that it's not a scary process, which is part of the reason that we're doing this at an undergraduate level to help introduce you to the process. So it is a very supportive and introductory opportunity to learn a little bit about research. And so I think the students have had it's been really fun to watch them and just to get introduced to the research. So if anybody feels intimidated, you've got 4 fantastic students on here that have done it and would be willing to, I have no doubt, be a support and provide you a little guidance, and just asking your faculty. So I'm very excited about what we're doing with the Undergraduate Research Symposium. IMEX is Godwin, are we in year 2 or 3 this year? We've done it twice.
Year 2.
Yeah. So the first year IMEX is, I'm going to probably, Godwin, you've attended more than I have, is a super large, focuses around the events, business events industry, and in Las Vegas. And we have attended, we went the first year to explore it, to see opportunities for students a couple of years ago, and we each brought a couple of students, and they got to interact together and really experience the events industry and meet industry folks, make connections, and then participate in part of the activities for the IMEX. They have a future leaders program. They also have a faculty program. So faculty and students alike can can go and learn and grow. And they also have some fun activities. I know my students and I will always do like the 5K together, and then plan a couple of ESD has been working hard to plan some hotel tours, casino tours during that as well to complement the conference. So we're continuing to do a little bit more each year. And this past year, UNLV was so gracious to host us and had a fantastic panel there where students got to interact with industry professionals and hear from them and learn a little bit more from them. So is that a little good start overview? I'll let you add in Godwin or Mary or Donna.
I would just add, thank you so much, Stacy. I just wanted to add that MPI offered some certification for students this year for free. So that was a nice addition to the program as well.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful introduction to IMEX, Stacy. And so going back to the panelists, can you tell us anything you experienced at IMEX America? One of your takeaways.
So I've went to IMEX twice. The first year, like Stacey said, we just kind of were exploring, and just kind of seeing what it was all about. And then when we went the second year, we really got to dive into what IMEX is about. And IMEX is really cool because you get to see a different side of the hospitality industry in action. IMEX is like meetings and events planners coming to Las Vegas to meet with other cities and countries to see if they want to host their meeting there, if they want to host their event there. And so it was really cool to just see a different part of the industry than your hotel, your casino, things like that. And then you also got to go on two different tours, and do the fun activities. And so it was just a really good time to learn. And it's really warm there in Vegas in October or November. So it was a really fun experience. I would go back again. It's really, really cool.
Thank you, Delaney.
I would also agree with Delaney. I really enjoyed the IMEX conference, just kind of because I've never been to a big convention like that, so it was a really good experience to go see that. I really enjoyed the UNLV campus and the presentation that Godwin did give to us students, and also the panel there as well was very informative. So I would definitely recommend to go there just to kind of see how conferences do work and networking and just little things like that. So yeah.
I would
That's
also add to
great.
Anna's thing. I do think it was really cool that we partnered with UNLV this year. Because my first year, it just felt like we had a lot of time to where we could really maximize our trip. And so the second time going, I felt like we really got everything out of the trip that we could have.
Right. So I figure you like the hosting institution, Delaney. The fact that we have a place to call home and do all the activities was wonderful. So again, thanks to UNLV for hosting us for the last IMEX America Future Leaders. So let's
Hey,
go back
Godwin,
to the
just real quick, they've committed to host us again this fall. So I'll just throw that in there.
wonderful,
It
wonderful,
is.
great. So let's go back to the research again for those of you who did the research. What was an unexpected benefit of participating in the undergraduate research symposium? Unexpected. You know, sometimes when we ask students to do something, they don't want to do it. But you guys were wonderful, smart, future leaders. You decided to jump into this research. So, what was your unexpected benefit?
I could say, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I could say an unexpected benefit was how much it improved my confidence in presenting and speaking professionally. Being able to clearly explain my research to others, answer questions, and engage in discussion really strengthened my communication skills in a way that I didn't anticipate because I'd be too nervous. So it's like, it really helped me with my confidence in speaking professionally.
That was exactly what I was going to say was confidence, especially since it is kind of at the undergraduate level. It's not as intimidating, and you have so much support when you do go from the other ESD students and also so many faculty members as well that they make it a warm and welcoming environment, and you're feel free to ask any question to anyone, and it's just a very good experience as well.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with confidence, but I also would agree with like the networking benefit. Because you're meeting a bunch of students with like-minded like thoughts and processes, and it's just really cool to talk about your research, talk about their research, and then connect on a deeper level.
Yeah, I agree with all of them. Basically with the confidence. I didn't I do not like presenting. That's one of my biggest, I wouldn't say fears, but if I could not do it, I would not do it. But this has helped me gain a lot, so much confidence. Um, and also like networking, meeting new people, just sharing our passions and connecting them.
So we will not be the only one asking questions. So audience, if you have questions, please type it in, and Mary will be able to ask the student any question you may have. So I'm almost done with my questions for the student. So if you have questions, please type it in, and Mary will be able to ask the student. I still have some questions for you. Let's go back to the IMEX America. I know you've talked about some of the wonderful things that happen. Can you also share some of the unexpected benefits you benefited from going to IMEX America? Unexpected.
I think an unexpected benefit of IMEX was seeing how like how different different aspects, like I said, of the hospitality industry are. I would have never ever imagined how big that IMEX was, and so just seeing like all of these people there for the same thing was cool. I also think it's really cool to see like Vegas is a hospitality hub. I mean, it's one of the biggest ones in the world. And those people there, they think differently than our small town rural hotels. And so seeing that side of it was something I didn't really expect to have, but it was really cool.
I would also completely agree with Delaney, and even going on those tours at the different hotels in Vegas and just seeing how those big casinos do operate is very interesting because me personally, I had never even been to like a casino, and it was just very eye-opening and just very interesting of how they do operate those bigger hotels as well.
Wonderful. Just to give you some perspective of the attendees at IMEX America, we have over 12,000 attendees from different part of the world, including faculty and students. So that's how big it was, and it's even growing every year. It's probably going to be more than 13,000 now, approaching 15,000. So yes, it was really big, and that's a very good opportunity to network with industry professionals, students, and faculty. So one more question for you guys before we pass it on. Were you able to secure funding for any of these programs?
Yeah, for us, at Fort Hays, we get allocations from our student government, and our university every year. And so we put in how many students roughly like the year before that we're wanting to take on any sort of trip, and then they give us money. If that money doesn't cover the whole trip, then we will fundraise. Fundraising is a huge part of what we do with in our ESD chapter because we don't really want to pay for things out of pocket. And if we can use fundraised dollars to allow students to go on these trips, that is a really important part of what we do.
Great.
I can say for us at Bethune-Cookman University, the College of Business and Entrepreneurship did help us with funding.
Good. That's wonderful. So that's great. We have different type of funding here. Student proactive way of funding themselves, and then college funding opportunity. So faculty and students alike who might be interested, these are two opportunities. Your student government in each university, that is part of your fees, actually, student. So you should be able to ask for funding for trips like this. And that is great. What would you like to share with students or faculty about your experience or motivation for students to participate in any of these events? Any word of advice for students?
I think for both events, it's just stepping outside of your comfort zone. You really never know who you might meet. I know I can call on a lot of these professors, Dr. Charles, Mary, Donna, all of them, if I ever needed a reference for something. And I would have never got that experience if I didn't just go on the trip and really engage when you're there. It's one thing to just go on a trip for school, but it's another thing to really engage and get the benefits out of the trip. And I think that would be my one piece of advice is just really immerse yourself in the event and the experience to gain all the benefits of it.
Great.
I can say for me, for the undergrad research symposium, as advice, I can say you need to write about something you care about. Don't just pick a topic because you feel like you know it's the most interesting or it will captivate the audience's attention, but write about something you're very passionate about because it will show while you're presenting. And also, I want to piggyback off what Delaney said about the networking. I feel like I did not expect to meet a lot of new people and network in the symposium. I thought I was gonna go and just do my research and go by my day. But you do meet a lot of people in the hospitality industry that is willing to help you and watch you grow as a young professional.
Great.
I would say it might sound like very hard or like you're gonna be nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous, especially when it comes to presentation. But as Cassandra said, just do your research on something that you love, something that you're passionate about. It's gonna make it that much easier. And just when you're about to present, just everyone in the room, they're here to support you, they're here to listen to you. So just go out there and do your best.
Wonderful.
Right, Godwin, we have a question in the chat from Dr. Lawley. If
Okay.
students listening right now are interested in pursuing a research project, where would you recommend they start?
I would personally tell students to start with your advisor. They will probably give you the best direction on what to do. And like Cassandra said, finding your topic early is never a bad thing. Going straight to your advisor and saying, "Hey, I want to do a research project over this." They're really going to dive in and help you right away versus you going and saying, "I think I want to do research," but you have absolutely no idea what you want to research. That can be a little harder to get the ball moving. So if you want to start, I would just find something you're passionate on and find your advisor and get to work.
Anybody else that on the panel? I'd be curious to also see if you guys are willing to share some of the things that you did do research on. I know for Cassandra and Kayvon, well, actually, I think all four of you did 2 years in a row, right?
This was my first year.
Okay, sorry, Anna.
Yes, no, you're good. But I did mine on I did a survey project between Fort Hays State students and kind of like Airbnbs and hotels and kind of like what they would prefer to stay at when they're going on like group trips and like the pricing they'll spend on that and all the accommodations. So mine was more of like a survey research, which is something that you can go about too instead of just doing straight up research. I feel like the survey was very interesting, something else that I could add into my project as well, and I really enjoyed it. So,
Anna, do you
Great.
have any suggestions on how you were able to get people to engage with your survey? I know several students had trouble with people responding to their survey questions.
yes, I low-key just went out of my comfort zone a little bit and just kind of sent it to everyone I did know, which was kind of hard at first, but you just have to do it, and the more responses, the better. And it turned out really well, so. And I also would recommend if your school does send out like student announcements to send them that survey as well, so the students reading the daily announcements can fill out that survey too.
Great advice.
Yeah, for me, I did my research over the first year. I did it over space tourism and like space hotels, which was really, really interesting. And then this past year, I did it over hospitality internships and how they help you get your professional identity. Both of those were survey based. And like Andy sent it to our student announcements, sent it to just about everybody you know. And so it wasn't honestly that difficult to find survey responses. It was just a matter of collecting them in the correct time frame.
So the first year I did my research on cultural diversity and how it influences menu composition and consumer retention. And then this year I did mine on the socioeconomic status and how it shapes Gen Z's functional and sustainable food preferences. So I did mine literature review based research. Uh, I just as I said, I used our library databases, Sculptor, to get my information. The biggest challenge I really had was just going through all the information and taking what I necessarily need.
I can say for me, I've always stuck to the events part of hospitality. That's what I'm passionate about. So that's what I chose to write about the first year and this year. This year, I more so focused on festival and event management strategies for resilient destinations. So with that being said, I used like Kavan said, I used the library database, EBSCO, Nexus Uni, all of those resources to help me with my research.
Great. Just to piggyback on this research, I want advisors and students to know that you have different type of research you can engage on, and your research may not even be completed, but we advise it to be completed because those are the research that are selected for potential to win the best paper award and also can be published. So any areas of hospitality, event, hotel industries, restaurant, consumer behavior, name it all, is welcome. All this research are taken. In the first submission, you will submit only 2-page abstract of your research. You work with your faculty mentor or advisor to submit the paper. Then after that, once that abstract is accepted, you'll be informed to submit the final paper. And the final paper should include everything from your abstracts to your references. And we like to keep it around 20 pages for the final paper. The first submission is just an abstract, 2-page abstract, and the final paper, no more than 20 pages. So that's what we've been doing, and it's been moving very well. I use this opportunity to thank all our ICHRIE reviewers who have been reviewing these papers for us. So, Mary, do you have another question for us, please?
Yes. Dr. Lawley, would you like to read it, Jeff? I don't know if you can unmute or not.
Yeah, sure, I can unmute. And it's pretty much what Dr. Godwin just talked about is, what are the different types of research, that it doesn't have to be a full completed paper. It can be using secondary data, those types of things, because there's a plethora of research that students submit from in progress all the way up to a completed study. So I think a lot of times students think that they have to have a completed study when they submit, but I think you clearly stated that, Godwin, just recently. So I just wanted students to understand there's a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different types of things.
And if I could just chime in real quick, Godwin, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If I could just chime in, you're a lot of professors at your colleges and universities, for some of the students on this webinar, love to do this stuff. They're like research geeks. So some of them love to do it, some of them have to do it, right? But to have a student that might be willing to explore a topic, I think what the message we'd like to drive home, and that's why I asked all the students to give their research examples, because this is information that impacts industry, and this is data that the industry folks are interested in seeing the results of. So when you can do a survey and gather some data and lend some insight, you're really helping industry learn, and that's one of the things we try to teach in higher ed. So it's kind of next level stuff. You're not learning just kind of operations, and I know you're in college to, obviously learn as much as you can, but this is actually applying that learning and having the opportunity to really make a difference for industry. So I agree. I think one of the students said, don't be scared to do research. With the right advisor, it's just it can be fun and informative at the same time. And then you get to travel. Gavin, if you don't mind, I'd love to ask some of these students, like, I know you came and did the hard stuff and you presented and you networked, but what are some of the fun stuff you did? Off the grid, if you're willing to share, at IMEX and at Boston. And if some of you went to shows and some of you went to the In-N-Out Burger, and like, would you be willing to talk about some of the fun stuff you get to do, when you take these trips?
Yeah, so I am a professional fun haver. Just kidding. I think it's really important on these trips to do other things, because they can just seem like you're just doing academic stuff. So in Vegas, we went to the Wizard of Oz, at the Sphere. That was really cool. We went to In-N-Out Burger because a lot of us had never been. We just explored the strip. We got to have some fun. We have a few alums that live in Vegas, and so they took us to dinner, and we just had a really good time. In Boston, it was really cold, and so we didn't get to do as much fun stuff. But we got to go to Cheers, like the bar where the show was filmed or inspired by. And then we were gonna go ice skating, but they lost all their ice. So we just walked around Boston. We got to go some really cool like brunch places, and just get experiences that are outside of um, your academic experience. A few of us went to the Knicks game. There was, or not the Knicks, sorry, the NBA game, and then as well as the NHL games those days. So it was really fun to get those other experiences.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. Thank you, Delaney. That's why I wanted you to share. Anyone else?
So
Yes. So, oh,
go ahead.
me and Kavan, we had a lot of fun with Dr. Smith too. So it was my first time in Boston. We tried a lot of different cuisines. I could say that we all three of us agreed that Boston has some really good food, and we did not encounter no bad service, no bad food. So the food was amazing. And towards the ending of the night, me and Kavan decided that we wanted to build a snowman in the snow. So that was really fun. We have a picture of the snowman. That's our hospitality management son, daughter, sister, brother. So that was really fun. That was a moment to remember.
I love it because I think maybe people on this call don't know that your school's in Florida and you don't really encounter a lot of
Yeah.
snow. So to
Yeah.
come to Boston in February, which is always a challenge, you guys got to see some snow, and that's fabulous. Kibon, what were
Yeah.
you going to say?
I was gonna say the same thing basically. The food is amazing. Seafood. The food kind of convinced me that I need to live in Boston. Um, Also a little background from about me. I'm from the Caribbean, so I rarely see snow anytime. And then now I'm living in Florida, it's the same thing. So, Boston, that was my first snowman. So hopefully, there's more, but it was just an amazing experience. The scenery was amazing. It was beautiful, especially coming in from the airport. The views when we were landing, it was absolutely breathtaking.
Thank you, Kibon. That's awesome. Ladies, or Anna, I don't know if you want to add. I know
Yeah, I
Delaney.
can add. I also went with Delaney on these trips, so I pretty much just did the same thing as her. Vegas, walking down the strip, the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere was definitely my favorite. I really enjoyed that. And then in Boston, I did have the opportunity to go to the hockey game, and that was also really fun as well.
Yeah, so for those students on this call, there's a lot of time for you to have some free time and explore and maybe get to a destination you've never traveled to before.
And Donna, if this is Stacy, if I can add to what you're talking about and what the students did, is there is opportunity to have lots of fun. And as I think back on these trips, I have been to all three of the symposiums and to Vegas. And not only do these students have a great time, they network with other students. So I know at Busch Gardens last year in Tampa, I think our students interacted with some of the other students on that reception night as we kind of explored Busch Gardens there a little bit.
Oh,
In Miami, we did the South Beach Festival or down there a little bit,
yep.
and our students interacted. So my point is that there's a lot of friendships made, and I know that our students create a lot of LinkedIn connections. from meeting other students. And those LinkedIn connections, you guys will help build your professional network. Us advisors are old and we have our network and we've been around a long time, but you are the future of hospitality, and your ability to connect and start to create your own LinkedIn connections, your own professional network will pay off down the road, because as large as this industry is, we all know it's also very small, and you will cross paths in all sorts of ways. And so anyways, I think that's a especially side benefit of all of these activities is starting to create some of those connections, because you might use them down the road as you kind of see what other people are doing on LinkedIn and things like that. So and then just one last thing I was going to say on the research, as I can't remember what the question was before about starting research projects, we are, and I always talk about it with other advisors and students, is us at Fort Hays, we are not a heavy research school. We are a teaching comprehensive university. We don't do a lot of heavy research. And so it can be a little intimidating to get our students, engaged with it. And so we try to take it to very introductory small projects to help them understand the process. But then as you guys go into the industry, then all of a sudden, when you are reading information about data or the percentage of this, you kind of have a little idea of how that data was found, and you have a better understanding of it. And you can speak more intelligently about it, saying, oh, I understand where this is coming from. So so don't be afraid. I always like to stress that just because you haven't done a lot of research projects, we take it pretty slow and introductory, but we do have a lot of repeat students. So I'm going to take that as a plus. So anyways, just wanted to add it in, the importance of the connections that you make across the schools as well. So
thank you, Stacy. I will tell everyone on this call. I mean, I know there's students, but I also can see that there's lots of advisors on this call as well. If you want to take a page out of a Rockstar Advisors booklet, please contact Dr. Stacy Smith, because she just has a great rapport. She's been with us from the beginning of all of these events. She absolutely spearheaded with Dr. Godwin Charles, the IMEX formalized program, right? Like the first year they just went, but the second year we kind of formalized it. And then, like I said, we're committing to do it again this fall. So if anybody on this call is remotely thinking about fall, traveling with students, getting them out to experience IMEX, and I did put an IMEX link in the chat, so you guys get a flavor for what the size and scope of that conference is. But Stacy, you've been great. And, it speaks to the fact that you have repeat students. But everything you said is really important. And but thank you for all you do.
And I'm going to add on. I know Kayvon and Cassandra, my students, when they got there, I remember, I don't know who it was, Delaney, maybe you remember, but it was like, he was here last year. And like, so people know people and remembered even your topic, and just like it was good stuff. And so it was like cool to see you guys come back. And so, yeah, I thought that was fun. I was like, oh yeah, they were, and da. So it's good stuff.
Great. One thing I would like to share is that Boston University also offered scholarship to all the students who may be interested in graduate school. And there are many other scholarships from different universities as well. I just want to ask some of the students here today, how many of you are planning to go to graduate school?
I know I am.
I am also.
Do you think this research experience on ESD experience have anything to do with that?
Yes. So with the entire, especially the one in Boston, when I presented my research, the dean of the hospitality school, he actually came to me and he was very impressed with the research. My presentation was impressive, and he actually he invited me to attend the school. So I'm just waiting for the application portal to open. Um, so hopefully in fall of 27, fingers crossed, I will be attending Boston University.
Congratulations,
That's
Kayla.
awesome.
You're gonna go be cold for a couple years.
Don't mind the cold at all.
And me, I just wanted to add a few words, if that's okay, before we get off this call. I just want to first thank the team, Dr. Godwin Charles and his team, for making this possible. for undergraduate students to enter the research world at a professional level. I am just very happy and excited to have the opportunity to coach two great students at the level of three. One graduated last year. This is our second time entering the ESD Symposium, and we have been successful. First time with having a Best Paper Award, the second time around having a Best Paper and Emeritus Award. So we are happy for this opportunity. I want to say, though, that having students with the right attitude, everyone's busy. Students are overloaded with activities. Faculty is overloaded. We want to make this happen. So when we make a good match, find the right students, it makes it easy for everyone. And Kavan and Cassandra, they have just been above and beyond in everything that they do. I have to commend them because it makes it easier for me to guide them and coach them. They are really accountable. They meet the deadlines. They're willing to grow. They want to learn and step out of their comfort zone. So I appreciate these students, and I want to encourage my fellow faculty to keep going. Sometimes it's hard. We have so many things we have to juggle, but for the benefits, it's just really, really rewarding. So thank you all, and yeah, continue to do a great job, Dr. Charles and your team.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. You play a big role in making that happen. And again, we appreciate your support as well.
Any other student interested in graduate school?
Yes. So yeah, I am interested in graduate school. Like Kavan did say, the dean of the school, he did come up to me also, and he said he will be looking out for my application. He actually introduced me to Mr. Tristan. Me and Mr. Tristan are like this. We talk almost every day. So I feel like that was an amazing connection that I made throughout the symposium. So yeah, he also said he'll be looking out for my application too. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's nice.
I would love to see some hands from some students on this call, maybe questions or comments, or maybe just something that had impacted you that we've talked about so far. And I see a bunch of advisors too. So thank you for your support and encouraging attendance at today's webinar. We usually try to do something professional development oriented as an ESD sponsored event. But this year, there was just no doubt that we wanted to focus on these students and their experience and try to pay that forward and encourage other students to consider some of the things that we do. So I'd love to hear from you guys. I think there's a raise hand function, or I think you could use the chat, right? I'd love to hear questions, issues, comments,
If you raise your
concerns.
hand as well, I can ask you to unmute and then you can speak. So that's good.
Can we encourage some questions from the audience, the webinar audience, in our last 10 minutes? Or advisors? Dr. Lally, I know this is the first time she's a new professor at Widener University. She traveled with students and was able to take an award as well. So I don't know if you want to say a thing or two about your first experience.
Yeah, sure. It was amazing. Like students. So I want to touch on the timeline, right? Last semester and fall semester, students came after 2-3 weeks and said, "Hey, we want to do research." And luckily, they came to me as Delaney was saying, like it's harder to start when someone comes like we want to do research. But good thing is they were in my class, so they already knew their interests and what they wanted to do in the future. So like, okay, so these are some topics that you might be interested. So we walked through the process. It was very exciting for me. It was not only like first time attending this conference, but it was also first time mentoring someone through research because I just graduated, so I was always a mentee in the process. So it was very exciting to help someone else get to where they wanted to be with their research, and they did amazing job. And yeah, they won best paper in our track as well. So yeah, I would 100% recommend any student to experience that. It's gonna be challenging, but your advisors will help you break it down into manageable steps And timeline wise, I think it's in October. It's the middle of the fall semester when you are submitting just two page of abstract, and then you have the rest of the semester to work on the paper. So I'm now already thinking to redesign one of my courses to actually have that research paper included. So I'll have more students to experience this, because there's a lot going on when you go on a conference, when you talk to people. I was just a student for 14 years, right? After this 14 years, I have so many connections that are now professionals in the field, in the university. So yeah, definitely take that opportunity, both ways, from advisors and from students.
Thank you, thank you. And I want to add more about the research. Students and advisors, you don't have to wait until the call for paper is out. You can actually start whatever you love, like Cassandra said, whatever you like to study or learn about, or if you have questions that could initiate your studies, start with your advisor now. You don't have to wait until the call for paper, because you will have enough time to collect your data if you want to collect data, or you can use a secondary data. There are secondary data out there, things that have been done before that could meet the purpose of your study. You can use those data and analyze them to be presented as part of this symposium. So start early. Don't wait until you see the call for paper. Faculty, you can build it into your syllabus. So the first fall semester can be the preparation for the papers, collecting data if you need to collect data, initiating your studies. And then the following spring is when the symposium takes place. So you can start this upcoming fall, collecting your data, working with your student, then submitting the final paper to be presented next year spring. So that's just some advice to students and faculty who might be interested in taking part in the symposium. And for the IMEX America, stay tuned. We're going to be sending out information about this year. We're going to be at Las Vegas again. We thank them for hosting us. That will be our base, our home for IMEX America Future Leaders ESD Experience. So please keep that in your schedule. It's going to be around October, November again this year, and it's going to be a wonderful experience again. You're going to be meeting a lot of industry professionals that will come personally to meet with you. That is the student at IMEX. And you will also have a lot of opportunities, you and your student, to meet with other faculty and other executive in the industry, especially the meeting and event industry. So stay tuned for more information coming from ESD regarding both event, the symposium, and IMEX America. So I don't know if there's any question. Mary, is there any question for the student or about the activities in general?
I don't see any questions, Godwin, but I would be remiss if we did not completely appreciate and thank you for all that you do for ESD and ICHRIE. You have spearheaded both of these processes, and they're going to be big shoes to fill if you're gonna even remotely think about taking a step back. But I think, you've left the place better than you found it, and you're just so dedicated. And I really think that obviously everyone on all the panelists, like, they've known you throughout the years. Everyone who's traveled to IMEX knows Dr. Godwin, and everyone in ICHRIE knows Godwin Charles. But for those who don't know him, he's just a dedicated faculty advisor and team member at ICHRIE and for ESD. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you. I would also like to thank you, Donna, for your wonderful leadership as the ESD governor, chair. So without you, all this won't happen. And extend my thanks to Jeff for all the wonderful support, part of the executive. Mary has been there for us all the time. So thanks to all. It takes a village. So we're all working together to make it happen. And Stacy too, you've been there. Nancy, you've been there with us for IMS. So let's keep going. So we'll be having our next meeting to come up with a plan for the next IMS America very soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, and Mary, yes, thank you. Mary's our glue for sure. She is mission control. So thank you for all coming to our webinar. I hope you found it informative. I know my students are going to give me some feedback for some extra credit. So grateful for that. I want to hear, I want to hear it. But thank you for the student panelists. You represent us so well. Have an amazing wrap up to the end of your semester and a great summer. And I appreciate everyone for being here. This is a super successful endeavor, and I thank you for all your help.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.